Death, be not proud. By John Donne. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure. Then from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and soul's delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings and desperate men, and dost with poison, war and sickness dwell, and poppy or charms can make us sleep as well, and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death thou shalt die. Explanation and analysis of the poem. Donne begins by addressing death directly, as if it were a person. He tells death not to be arrogant or proud just because people consider it powerful and scary. According to Donne, death is not mighty or dreadful in reality. He challenges the common fear of death and aims to demystify its power, presenting a spiritual argument. Donne tells death that those it believes it has defeated, by causing death, do not truly die. He even mocks death by calling it poor death and says death won't be able to kill him either. He sees physical death not as an end but as a transition to eternal life, so death doesn't have real powers. Donne says that sleep and rest are like small imitations, pictures of death, and we enjoy sleep. So if death is like a deeper version of sleep, it must be even more peaceful and pleasurable. This line draws on metaphysical imagery. If sleep is pleasant and death is just a deeper sleep, then death should not be feared. Donne says that the best people, holy or wise ones, die young. They go to death for rest and to be freed. Their bones rest in the grave, and their souls are delivered to heaven. Death is a gateway to peace and salvation, not a fearful ending. Donne insults death by saying it isn't powerful. It's a servant or slave. Death happens because of fate, destiny, chance, random events, rulers who order killings, or desperate people like suicides. This line reduces death to a passive tool of larger forces, undermining its so-called authority. Donne continues insulting death. It lives or works alongside horrible things like poison, war and disease. The poet is disrespectful towards death and mocks it. He wants to strip death of its imagined dignity. He compares death to sleeping pills or drugs or medicines. Poppy refers to opium. And magic spells, saying even those can put us to sleep better than death can. So why does death think so highly of itself? This is a scathing metaphor. If death is no better than a drug-induced sleep, its pride is laughable. Donne delivers the final blow. He says that after the short sleep of death we awaken forever, referring to eternal life in heaven. At that point, death itself will die, it will have no more power. This reflects Christian belief in resurrection and eternal life. Donne's conclusion flips the power dynamic. Death, once feared, is ultimately defeated. Themes. 1. Death is not powerful. The poet says death is not strong or scary as people think. Life after death. Donne believes that after death the soul lives forever, so death is not the end. Faith in God. Because of Christian belief in resurrection, death has no final power. Death is like sleep. The poet compares death to sleep, which is peaceful and not to be feared. Death will die. In the end, Donne says death itself will be destroyed and won't exist anymore. Conclusion. John Donne's Death, Be Not Proud is a bold declaration that death is not the end, nor is it fearsome. Through reason, faith, and sharp metaphysical imagery, Donne strips death of its pride and shows that eternal life renders death powerless. The poem ends with a triumphant idea. Death itself will be defeated.